RP's here. So I'm doing a story in LA a few years ago. So I called Tim and say, let's talk about Elio's career here and what's going on. Cindric said, well, the first 2 practice days, he's like, what's the big deal about being here? It didn't do anything for him. He's like, drive around in a circle. He goes up, and Cindric said, you will learn to love this place. This will become one of your second homes, and you'll be really happy that you're driving for RP because it's going to help make your name. And he's a kid. He's like, yeah, it's an old boy that buzz around like that. But it's amazing how things just fit together. And you look at RP's record, and he always makes, not always, 90% of the time makes the right choice. This guy's driving for me, this guy, I'm keeping him, he's moving on. People are like, got rid of this guy. But there is a knack and a talent to picking talent at a place like this. And I think the speed and the intensity just fit right in Elio's wheelhouse. And I think he's just one of those guys that was made to race here. And not that everybody doesn't want to be here, but not everybody's made to race here and win here. It's just an amazing combination. And when Roger gives you the thumbs, you're gonna be part of the team. Yeah, there's a lot of pressure, but you also know I'm gonna get the best of everything, and I got a chance to win this race every year. Look how close Elio is to it being a 6-time winner. 40 feet? And I just remember him getting out of the car, after, what year it was, Hunter Ray and him had that great race. And he put his hand on his head and just, he knew how close he was. And you never know if you're gonna get that opportunity again. So, I don't know. Of all the races in all the years, Indy needed this as much, his result and that finish and the reaction. I think it kept NBC right on top of things to want to keep going, and made people want to come back next year, and you'll have trouble getting a ticket. And when Roger sees what I'm going to write on Sunday night, he's either going to like me or hate me, but I think he'll agree with me. I just want him to do one big thing, and I think it'll put it over the hump. But I think the Indianapolis 500 is back, and that's all we were all worried a few years ago it's going to happen to Indy, or do people care anymore? Jeez, that's all they talk about. That's all they've been talking about for a month, and you can't buy that publicity. You cannot buy Elio's enthusiasm. You can't buy the people that stood here for 40 minutes. Mario kissed him on the head. I mean, I've been doing this for 53 years, and I stood there going, nobody's leaving. This is unbelievable. So, just what a great month, and what a great way to get the season going.
I don't know, to hang on to that, I don't know if anybody has questions for Robin, but I'll pop you one here. I mean, we talked about all the great names that are involved in the Hall of Fame. To see your name a part of that now, what does that mean?
When George called and said, hey, I got some good news for you, I said, what's that? He goes, you made the Motorsports Hall of Fame. I said, come on. He goes, no. I mean, really? Bob Schweikert, Jimmy Bryant, AJ Foyt, Mario,
Roger
Penske. Prudhomme calls me up and goes, you owe me, I voted for you. I said, okay. Chip, Don Garlitz, all the guys that, Parnelli, obviously Mario was great. You just can't, it's so hard to put you can't even imagine that you shouldn't probably be in the same sense with these guys. I mean, think about what they've done. You're a guy, you're a writer. You write about the drivers and the teams, and the races, and yeah, you've had great access, and people have been cooperative as hell, and you've pissed a lot of people off, and you've made some people happy. But to have relationships with guys like, I'm 17 years old, stealing beer at sprint car races for Jim Hurtubise. Just so you might remember my face. At 18, he hires me as a stooge, doesn't pay me, realizes about a week and a half into it, I may be the dumbest person that's ever been around a race car. Has to fire me. Free help when I get fired. So then I start working on Bill Finley's IndyCar team, and then I go to work with Star and beg them to let me cover racing. Then I buy a Formula Ford from Andy Granatelli, thanks Star and Pollard. Then I become part of the Bentonhausen family, buy a midget there and start running USAC, and I'm writing 52 columns a year about USAC racing, because USAC was on top. I flunked out of Ball State 1971, and that's hard to do. It's hard to flunk out of Ball State. You gotta try. I mean, you gotta just, it's sad because my mom and dad didn't get a chance to go to college, and I just threw mine away. But it was amazing as you get older. So you go from hero worship and Mario and AJ and Barnelli and those guys, and then you become kind of friends, but you're covering them as drivers. Then you become friends with them. Then you get your home number, you call them anytime you want, they call you back. And then you just feel like you're part of their life. It's just so, I'm so lucky, it's unbelievable. And you could not chart my career. There's nobody in this day and age that could come along and have the luck I had. It just doesn't happen. I was at the right place at the right time, and somebody said, let's give this poor 45 IQ moron a chance to do something. Because obviously he can't do much. And I just think, then I get sick and all you guys chip in, and all the great RP, he calls me and says, I'll fly to the Mayo Clinic, you need money. AJ calls, what do you need? You know, Mario and Rufus and everybody, and it's so humbling to see how many people jump in and want to help. And you know, you just can't, there's no words to describe. You're just overwhelmed because you're thinking, you know, I'm a guy that writes about racing and drivers and stuff, and these people have jumped in. I mean, I'd be dead without my sister and her friends, because I'd have died. I'd have never made it through a couple weeks ago when I had fever and collapsed and all that. But it's unbelievable how many people have just jumped in, and Shunk and Fino and Larry Joe and just they jump in and help. You know, like they built Diane a bed, they built me an electric staircase. I mean, it's beyond overwhelming. You just can't even. What do you say? How do you repay people for that kind of kindness? You can't. You just have to be. I'm so lucky to have that many friends. It shows you. I don't cry very often, but God, it makes you cry because you think about all the people who've jumped in to help, and you think they don't have to do this, and they do. So I don't know. If I don't get up tomorrow morning, I've had a great life.